What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. First off, would like to say thank you to many other people out there who have just newly came to the page. We want to say we appreciate you. We love you guys, man, for coming through with all the support you have. And we want to say this has been a very growthful summer. And kids are now going back to school. So be careful out there driving. I know the roads used to be clear. Now the kids are going back to school, so you're gonna have to reroute yourself and go different ways. But kind of be careful because kids are just like out in the streets, and buses and all this stuff is out there, and just kind of be careful because we had a lot of kids hit by cars in this first basically week of kids going back to school. So let's be a little more cautious with how we're driving out there. Okay, with that being said, let's get to it. LL Cool J has teamed up with his friend that he's known for years, Gina Rivera, and one of the largest franchisees, Kevin Davis. Hey, in the Phenix Salon Suites. These salon suites are mostly in Los Angeles. I think there's one by me. I've never been in them, but a lot of franchises do not partner with people of our stature, of our color. So it's good to see that LL, one of the arguably the greatest rapper of all time, has partnered up with the likes of Gina Rivera and Kevin Davis to do this. And what he wants to do is bring these salons to the East Coast, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and follow the same, concepts that they did in Los Angeles. Now, this is always a good idea to do business. And what LL appreciates about Gina is that she's an active stylist, and so she still services her clients, and she has all these hours behind the chair, and she knows the business top and bottom, and what truly understands what makes it a difference in people's life with people who do aesthetics and cosmetologists. And I only know of these things because of Jenny. Jenny does this, working out of salons. So she's been doing it for all these years. Went and got her degree, and she could do so many different things. Now, you might be saying, who is this Kevin Davis? That name has a ring to it, don't it? But what the franchise does is it leases space to independent people such as hairstylists, massage therapists, who do nails, all these different things. Now, Kevin Davis is a guy. Oh, hmm, that's crazy. Sorry about that. Kevin Davis is also the guy who owns a part of. He had Dunkin' Donuts, Papa John's, and he had Popeye's Chicken, Subway, and they had Epic Wings. So you can invest in one of these properties yourself if this is something that you want to do down the line. These properties are what you would call, no, I would say the risk is up there for these franchises. I mean, you get to be your own boss. They do let you be your own boss, and they basically running like a McDonald's. Like you're the boss, and they're just into the real estate part of it. Now, now, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do here. We do it on the Patreon, but we're gonna give you a rundown on why this is not necessarily a good idea. Most people think that opening a salon is a great idea. You're gonna make a lot of money. It's a no-brainer. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. But let's take a look at the salon suite industry growth. Right? It's about 30 to 35% for all of these cosmopolitans, cosmologists out there right now who is in this field, and that number continue to grow, and they feel like it'll be in the 70s within the next 6 to 7 years. Now, this is a great opportunity though, because there are a majority of these people are tenants. All the operators that come there, the majority of them are tenants. So the opportunities are through the roof when it comes for the developers and everything. All right. Now, here are the problems because operating it is easy. It's pretty much easy. But the problem is the failures before it's even built and you open your doors for sale. You see, the difference between a successful business and a disaster failure is the planning, the design, and the initial implementation. And that is all the work that's being done before you open your doors. You see, I've seen these businesses open and fail many of times. And they fail before they open their doors for business. Because no one took time for the critical decisions that could make and break your business. You need a successful business plan criteria. And for financials, you need someone to be able to do that. So that's why what LL Cool J is doing might work for LL Cool J and what he's doing with the team that he has. Because they have people that do GIS analysis and of the market, so they know exactly what they're actually dealing with. They look at the site analysis and they do evaluations. They have, all these different like building specifications for the salon that they have to follow to the letter. You know, the lease on the loan of investments and how it's structured, all the different terms, and how it's negotiated for, more value than taken away as a liability. You want to make sure that's done. You're going to look at space, the facility design, period, because you're going to have a lot of different areas in there. So, hair dryers and things of this nature, you're going to have a lot of high bills to have to play. You're going to have someone in there in case some of these things break. So the engineering has to be, done to perfection when you're building plans with your construction management team or whoever's involved. So you got to have your certain rules of standard. Then, you got to do online strategy. There's an online strategy. So you got to have your branding in place, marketing and online strategy. Who's doing that for you? Your operations managers in your practices that you're doing. You know, let's say your suppliers have different optimizations than you. The people that are supplying your business. You got to look at that equipment, fixture. You know, These are just some of the tools you're going to need when going down this road, because if you go down this road and you don't have these things in place, it could hinder you tremendously, and you'll be losing money before doors even start. I've seen it happen, and it looked like the business is making money, but it was actually losing money. The owner did not know how to run a business. He owned a grocery store, he owned a restaurant, and he had a beauty nail salon spot. Now he still owns these properties. He's just not doing anything with them. So he's probably just going to sell them off. The only thing he wanted to do really was run his grocery store, which now he has a grocery store, and he just made it a laundromat on the other side of the same grocery store. So now it's a grocery store slash laundromat. But I've seen his failure. I was very young. I was a kid because he used to have a barber shop in there too. And the barbers, I remember my barber leaving because he's cheap. You know, he don't like to pay people. But the problem was, it wasn't that he was cheap. Well, he was cheap too, but the thing, it wasn't just that. It was the actual cost it took to keep the doors open. Because I remember them complaining about the heat. Like, it was cold. You know, we in Chicago, so it was cold and there was no heat coming through. So you got to ask yourself about these things. I didn't look at I didn't look at a lot of opportunities that was like there right in front of my face, dead smack. I didn't do that. I should have, but I didn't. Like, there was a lot of opportunities I had to own my own business. But when you're not properly prepared to, I probably would have failed. But then probably not, because I was surrounded by people who had great business minds. And they could have helped develop mine in that sense. But I wasn't around. We ended up moving. So I lost track of a lot of people over there in that area when I moved. And because of it, I lost a connection to someone who was a great friend and their family. We just lost contact. But their family had taught me a lot about business early on. So, and this was as a teenager, things that weren't taught to the African American community. He was of Indian descent. He was Hindu Indian, and he was a businessman. And he owned a chain of restaurants. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but he owned a chain of them. And his chain, some of the best in the world. And he was telling me how to make it work and how to be successful. And I remembered it, and which got me and got the wheels turning in my head about business. So this is why I'm able to, share a lot of these things with you. So hopefully some of you are teenagers and you see this, and you might want to go down these avenues. And if any women are watching this, these are the things you got to think about before you go into, this type of field, or man, or whatever. You have to think about the things you don't. Just because you can do hair real good, you can do nails real good, you want to open your own salon, these are the things you got to think about, because it's going to cost you a lot more keeping those doors open. So you got to have a plan. So anyway, thank you. I'm out.